to this third edition of the Weekly Envision here for the week between June 15th and June 21st of 2015, where we actually do have something interesting going on as Invest 91L has a very high chance of formation in the western Gulf of Mexico, 90% in 48 and 120 hours, as is expected to move off towards the northwest to make a potential landfall in Texas, which they certainly don't need the rain at the moment. If we take a look at sea surface temperatures, they are pretty conductive in the western Gulf of Mexico, at least 28 degrees Celsius, and closer to the shoreline we've got 29 degrees Celsius waters, so definitely favorable conditions. If we take a look at anomalies, again, right up against the coast it's really warm, and up here in the Gulf Stream it's pretty warm, but other than that, cool or close to average waters pretty much across the entire tropical Atlantic. Here is the water vapor analysis, and you can see where 91L is here in the western Gulf of Mexico, and there's a little swirl here to the south and east of the convection, but the actual center is located inside of the thunderstorms. Take a look at our first graphic. Here is the wind shear analysis, and you can really see how the wind shear has broken down in the past couple of days in the western Gulf of Mexico. It's also worth mentioning that a huge gaping hole in the deep wind shear layer is expected to form here off the coast of Florida and the Carolinas, as it seems to develop every single week as soon as I do these things, doesn't it? Elsewhere, shear is extremely hostile. Reds, yellows, not exactly where you would expect tropical cyclone formation. So basically, it's poor everywhere else. Now we're going to take a look at the models. We're going to start with the GFS model, and we're going to go forward somewhat slowly, but GFS does not actually develop 91L into Bill and keeps everything rather quiet, actually, which is interesting to say the least. We take a look at the ECMWF and take a look at the top left-hand corner of your screen, as that's what will be the conductive for tropical cyclones. You'll see here 24 hours the low pressure forms, and then 48 it's really close to the Gulf of Mexico and at the coastline of Texas, and then ends up making landfall, and not exactly a very strong system exactly predicted here, and expected to dissipate after 96 hours. Nothing else expected to form out of the ECMWF. If we take a look at the Navy's model, and they also don't necessarily expect a bill to form out of this. There's a little closed isobar here just off the coast of Texas, but not necessarily anything big. Now here's the CMC model. If we keep on moving forward here, it does end up developing bill, not to a very particularly strong storm, between 1004 and 1008 millibars. So that's probably going to be a tropical depression. At best, it would be a minor tropical storm. And that's the CMC model, so that's the most aggressive. And you can see here, nothing else is expected to form. So going back now to the actual presentation. If we take a look at the activity comparison comparing to other years, we are currently tied 16th of all time since 1900. We are behind several seasons. I think the most active season to this point so far is 1908, which had 2 named storms and both of them becoming hurricanes, and that was before June 1st, actually. Many storms are tied 16th below this, obviously, and a pretty decent amount of seasons are tied up here for 8th. If we take a look at worldwide tropical cyclone activity, we only have 1 storm to speak of Hurricane Carlos in the eastern Pacific. I'm thinking west of Mexico. It currently just got upgraded to 75 miles per hour, and the CDPS rating is not 10, it's 17. So, not sure what that is, but the CDPS is not 10, it's 17, a stage 3 cyclone. So I screwed up there. Okay, so our important points. 91L is expected to develop in the hole in the deep wind shear wire in the western Gulf of Mexico. Sea surface temperatures are either at or below average in the tropics, except very close to the land in Gulf of Mexico. Wind shear is extremely unfavorable elsewhere. It's just a complete graveyard. And 91L is expected to turn into Tropical Storm Bill in the next 48 hours. Well, at least according to the NHC. Although I don't see any of the models even bringing it in to be a tropical storm. If we take a look, the next weekly Envision is going to be on June 22nd. 4 cyclonic minutes will be issued 12 hours after 91L forms. So if it does end up forming, you will know that will be coming 12 hours after it forms. And there will be a live Envision. Probably not anytime soon, as I don't expect 91L to develop into a stage 4 cyclone. Otherwise, we'll see you then.